Welcome back. I am so glad you can't see the pile of pure shit behind me. I have so much going on. I have so many clothes I need to get rid of. If you want any clothes for your Christmas season, please hit me up. I'm selling on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I don't care. Like, just reach out to me wherever. Snapchat, fantastic. Let me know if you want any clothes. So I've been gone for quite a minute. My last video was in January. I'm gonna be honest, I've been debating on coming back at all. I mean, I've been annoying everyone on social media asking if I should come back because it's kind of something that I had a lot of passion for and then I lost a lot of passion for. I lost my grandfather this past year and it has been one of the biggest losses of my life thus far. Good news within that, 2019 has been a huge year of growth for me, and I just wanted to share some life lessons I learned in 2019 with you. So my first lesson of 2019 that I learned is don't put so much pressure on yourself. When I started out 2019, I was at a university job, I was switching majors, adding a minor, in an internship. I was just doing way too much. I had a lot on my plate and I regret not making that time because I put so much pressure on myself to perform well in my job, in my academics, and in my social life that I didn't give me the time that I needed to grieve, and that set me back a lot in my mental health journey. Number 2, you are allowed to grow apart from people and still wish them the best. So in the midst of growing in 2019, I did experience a really strange breakup. As some of you may know, I was with my significant other for around 4 years, officially, but unofficially probably around 5. And we grew a lot together. He was my best friend. He was my only friend a lot of times, but 2019 had a lot in store for both of us, and I am so beyond proud of everything that he's accomplished since. And I've learned that you're allowed to have healthy relationships with people and not be with them. And I think that he made me grow better as a person, and I hope that I could only do the same for him. Number 3 is love yourself harder and the rest will come. So I kind of did this list chronologically in the order of how my 2019 went. After the whole breakup thing, I really chose to just put that time and that energy into myself and to love myself more. And with that came me going to the gym all the time, eating healthier, just being in a healthier mindset, pulling myself out of whatever pit I was in at the time, and even cutting off a lot of things too. I mean, I switched my major over to something new. I quit an internship that I was so excited for but ended up hating and not even getting my internship credit because I knew it wasn't the time for me. And in the midst of all of that craziness, I just kept telling myself that I can make it through. And I've done way worse things and way harder things before. It eventually fell together and everything kind of was put into place for me. And although it may have been at the time like not something I was happy about, looking back, I'm so glad that it happened. Number 4, don't feel guilty for setting boundaries. When you think about setting boundaries with people, you're always come to mind like as a toxic relationship. People have hurt you and that's why you need to set boundaries with them, when that's not entirely true. Sometimes you just need to teach people how to treat you, and that can still be a really, really good thing. I think that you should be able to feel comfortable setting boundaries with your friends, your family, your significant other, everyone in your life. You should feel comfortable enough with to set boundaries. And if you don't feel comfortable enough to set boundaries with them and telling them what they need to do for you in your relationship and setting clear-cut rules that will make you guys end up healthier in the end, then you probably shouldn't have them in your life to begin with. 5, don't be ashamed of who you are. I spent a lot of my life hating the fact that I am just naturally introverted. And it's something I still struggle with, is being ashamed of not always having like the social stamina to be in places I want to be. Because as soon as I get there, I realize that I am not really a people person. I like to be by myself. I'm not a quiet person. I'm just one that doesn't feel the need to go out a whole lot. And I spent a lot of time wanting to be someone else that did like to go out, and I think I've just kind of realized I'm happier without it. My 6th life lesson of 2019 is finding something that drives you. Now this doesn't even have to be an action or even like a hobby or a job or people or whatever. It could simply just be an idea. I will tell you something very, very personal. Throughout 2019, my biggest driver has been coming back to YouTube. I feel like this is one of the things that I really enjoy, and I'm honestly just been so scared to come back to it, but the thought alone has driven me to keep on going. Like, I wanted to be able to come back with tangible evidence that I grew as a person and that I deserve to come back to this platform. That idea has kept me out of a lot of bad decisions and kept me out of like a lot of big ruts that I was in. It doesn't always have to be a tangible thing you can hold on to. It can just be an idea that someday you'll be there. That's okay. That's okay to not have something physical to hold on to right now. On the same note, my 7th thing, it's okay to still feel like you're figuring everything out. I recently just finished my classes, and the very last class I had with from my professor, he kind of ended things on like a little monologue. He said that the biggest scam that we go through as young adults is being told from a young age that we have to have everything figured out by the time that we're finished with university. And he gave a lot of really good insight and telling us like that's not always true. I mean, he brought up a really good point in the fact that some of us are even going to be in jobs that aren't invented yet, that are going to be our dream job. You know, as long as we keep trying and knowing what works for us and even figuring out what doesn't work for us, we're going to continue to grow and we're going to continue to kind of search out our happiness. So it's okay to feel like you don't have everything figured out right now, because that's just not what's in store for you yet. Maybe the reason why you can't figure everything out right now is because your job hasn't been invented yet. Stars haven't aligned for you to move on to the next phase, and that's okay. It will, as long as you keep trying. You can't control everything and everyone. Let things go. Now this has been a big one for me. I am such a control freak. Put in a professional setting, I will always be the one to try to drive the entire conversation. And I had to come to terms with the fact that I'm not the smartest person in the room, and that's okay. You know, people work in teams. I've done a lot of work in teams this past year, and that's supposed to be how it works. It's not supposed to be one person leading an entire group of people. Everything works better, especially when people have their own thoughts and ideas, and we can come together as a full collective. And sometimes controlling things might actually lead you to be worse in the end. My last and final thing I will leave you with is don't be afraid to show your love and care to others. Emotions are not weakness. For a long time, I was always the girl that wore her heart on her sleeve. I've gotten my heart broken by so many people and so many friends. What I'm talking about is the complete opposite, where now we live in a society where showing your emotions can lead you to weakness, and unfortunately the people that do wear their heart on their sleeve do get stomped on quite a bit, whether it's in the name of social climbing or just protecting yourself from others because you have been that person. I unfortunately fell into that trap. I don't know what really happened to me, but I started to become more of like a hard shell person, and eventually I started to show almost no emotion to those I talked to. That's a really unhealthy place to be. You know, I never want someone to feel like stupid for caring about things or for showing love for other people or their friends or, you know, anyone. Like, as a collective, we should all be able to express ourselves, and that's something I've worked on all 2019 to kind of get back to, and that's exactly what I'm doing right now. That is 9 life lessons I've learned in 2019. I miss you a lot. I did not get dressed up for this. I'm literally sitting here in my pajamas. It is actually 12:30 at night right now, but I was just thinking about this and I kind of just wanted to share, and I hope that it could help just anyone. I hope that I could help you because it certainly has helped me. Feel free to leave me a comment telling me something that maybe you learned over the course of 2019. I know this year was a really weird year. I will leave you be now. Please make sure to leave a like if you like this video. I have a little bit less touchy-feely videos coming up. On that note, I will catch you later. Thanks for hanging out with me.